Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. As always, I am your host, Joe, and with me is my co-host, Joe.
We're really doing this, huh?
Yep. All right.
Bro.
Fuck, dude, it's been 10 years.
10 years.
10
fucking
years.
I had a conversation with my mom. I was like, Mom, do you remember Bleach? She goes, oh, the orange-haired boy.
Yep.
And I'm like, yes, Mom. I'm like, remember how I would watch that all the time? She's like, yeah, we got you the playmat and everything. I'm like, oh my God, yes. I tell her, I'm like, Mom, it's back after 10 years and I am 13 again. She was like, oh. She's like, I was wondering what all that noise up in your room was.
Yep. I told my parents, too. I was just like, hey, Ma, Dad, Joe and I been waiting for this thing for so fucking long. We didn't think it was going to happen, in all honesty. It wasn't until, like...
It was a meme.
It was a meme.
It was basically a fucking meme.
When did they do the reveal? It was like 2020 or some shit, right? Where they were just
It was when we were in New Zealand, 2020.
Right.
I remember it happened at the one expo, and I was like, Joe, what the fuck?
God damn. So we've been waiting for this for over 2 years since the announcement, 10 years since the end of the adaptation back in March of 2012, I think was the final episode, 366 or whatever the fuck it was.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So right off the bat, you know a little bit about Thousand Year Blood War because you read some, I don't know how much of the manga you read, but you read some of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know absolutely fuck all. I know I know two swords at one point. I know Jesus figure that will become apparent later on, and then I know that it has to do with the Quincy's, and that was about all I knew. But going into this, dude, this first episode, it's just like bang, 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 bang. It's like, oh, what the? Hang on, hey, can I get a Gee, fuck, okay, oh my god. I'm like, can I get a footing in this? For it, it really is. I love how it's titled in Hulu, where it's just like, it's a completely separate entity. It's like you have all 366 episodes of Bleach, and now it's like Bleach 1000 Year Blood War episode 1. It's a separate entity from the rest of Bleach, and it's just like, one might think, oh, I can just hop in on episode 1. A fool! An absolute fool, because you jump into this and you get a quick... I love the brief reintroductions we get with all the characters.
Yes.
But my God, it's like, you gotta fucking know that you gotta have some knowledge of this shit, because oh my God, it's just, it throws you in and it moves at a million miles an hour. It feels like the people behind this are just like, okay, so we've got 4 cores to do this. Awesome. We're going to put some super amazing quality, which we will talk about in a second, because fuck me. And they're just like, all right, setup. We can cram that into like the first couple of episodes, right? And then Kubo's just sitting back there just going like, but what if we did it in 1? And they're just like... And they're just like, oh.
Bro, I had that pictured in my head.
I'm just imagining Kubo like sitting in the back of the studio, like legs kicked up on something, arms crossed. He's got his hat tilted down, like the complete cool badass that he is. And he just flicks the hat up and he's just like, yeah, do it in 1. And everyone's just like, oh. And then they just cram all the shit they can into this first episode to get it set up. Because this first episode, I think, is titled The Blood Warfare. And fuck, dude. It's some blood warfare going on already.
Yeah, so again, I own the first volume of the 1000 Year Blood War. I think it's like volume like 55 or something like that. And I read that, and then I used to actually follow it online, reading through, and then it got to a certain point, and then I just stopped following it. So I do know some of the stuff that happens. But I really don't remember much. All I know is Joe really fucking lives up to the Blood War name, let me tell you. It's pretty... A lot of stuff happens, as you can probably tell from the first episode.
Oh yes, indeed. I haven't listened to the opening yet. I know it's out there online, but I'm just like, I need to wait.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta wait
context.
for it to be... Exactly.
In context, yeah.
Exactly. I was thinking the thing at the end was the opening, but it turns out it was just the standard ending song. Yeah. So I still haven't heard the opening, and I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting. I'm ready. But yeah, so let's talk about the do you want to talk about story for this first? Do you want to talk about like the production and how it all looks and all that sort of crap?
I think looks.
Okay.
Because wow, a lot of people say Bleach is like 99% aesthetic, 1% story. And although I think that's an exaggeration, um, aesthetic is very important, ladies and gentlemen, right? Like, come on, Joe. Fucking aesthetic, very, very important. Um, and this fucking episode, or I guess the show from fucking now on, Jesus Christ, the aesthetic is so fucking clean. It is such a vibe. If lo-fi anime beats had an anime, it would be this anime.
It might. I mean, the style of it, yes, but the action inside of it, no. But yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. God, it's amazing thinking back because you and I did a rewatch of the Fullbringer arc, and that was that's like the stepping stone that you have between like the original art style of like Soul Society, like a Moon and all that other crap, and then you get Fullbringer, which fully takes advantage of instead of being like the fucking box 4:3 ratio. It's like, oh, 16:9. We got full screen now, baby. And I remember seeing that for the first time, being like, oh, and it's like smoother colors and everything, and it was like actually using computer generated shit, and I was like, oh, interesting. And then this, fucking 10 years later, the colors in this shit, oh my god, the cityscapes, especially of like Karakura Town and like the stoplights. I'm seeing some fucking Shinkai in this bitch.
Bro, somebody fucking went hard on those stoplights. Like, that motherfucker got a stoplight fetish. I don't know what was going on. He really liked them.
That's a fucking... I want a t-shirt with that. I want Bleach 1000 Year Blood War logo, and then underneath of it, just in quotes, some motherfucker went hard on them stoplights. Because holy shit, they looked incredible. And at
so
some
nice.
points, I watched this episode twice.
I want to watch it twice.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to watch this as I fall asleep. I don't give a shit.
Oh, absolutely. Give it... I'll just put it on loop. But I was rewatching it, and I was just like... How does all this mesh together so well? Because like some of the hollow shit, you can tell they're CGI, but it's really like it's not exceptional, but it's really good. Like the blending of it makes it really cool, look really cool. Some of the movement of some, like when they're all standing on the building at the top, and then you do like the quick 360, and you see some of them encapsulating the building. Some of them look a little bit like, yeah, it's a NPC in the background, but other than that, oh my god, they look incredible. And it's like the melding of like the Shinkai realistic cityscape shit with like the stylized lighting that they got going on, and like some of the CGI hollows, and then just the 2D characters. It all blended together so fucking well, and I was like, I gotta fucking applaud these guys, because holy shit, this looks incredible. And, like, the trailers looked incredible, but again, we've been burned by that before, where shit looks incredible in trailers, and then in the actual series it doesn't look as good, and you're like, oh, okay. But this looks pretty fucking sick so far. Speaking of sick shit, the fucking music in this show, Joe.
Bro. Let me tell you this, Joe. You better make #1 the opening song for these podcast episodes. I know we like that Snail House Rock, but we gotta somehow get #1.
Dude, I've
to
been
be the
looking.
opening to the podcast episode.
I shit you not, I've been looking.
No way.
Shush. We'll see what I can do. I mean, the people watching this will have already seen. Whatever. But, oh, fuck.
No, Joe's gonna end up covering it himself and recording it, so we can actually use
no.
it.
I might have to at this point. But, goddamn, like, some of the music in this is just so... It's operatic and, like, not at all what I would think of when I, like, think of Bleach, but it fits so well. And I'm just like, fuck, dude, this all fits so well. I've heard most of it in the trailers that we've gotten, but in context of the actual show, it just fits so incredibly well. And I'm just like, fuck, I love this. I love everything. This is just going to be us saying how much we love this, because we're, as everyone knows or should know, again, we are self-proclaimed Bleach sluts. So there's that. Take our opinion with a grain of salt.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, it sounds... Yeah, it's not just the soundtrack, but the sounds are amazing.
Dude!
The guttural sounds when something goes through, when something pierces another person's body. The swords, oh my god. The... Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Like those are incredible. When Orihime first appears and the her little, I don't remember what the fuck they're called, but she does her healing thing on the Soul Reapers that just came, and they beefed it up a little bit. I noticed. I was like, ooh, you added some new sound design to that, but it's still like the original sound like layered in there.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, that's so fucking cool. So like seeing like the little bit of love that they're putting in and like updating everything, because again, as we've said, it's been 10 years. So getting all this shit is just so cool to see all the updated stuff. So updated character designs, which we get all those nice little when we're reintroduced to them, those little like splash pages like Orihime, Chad, Uryu, and then Ichigo, of course. I love the style that they've gone for with this, where it's very much like, I don't know, it almost seems like after Into the Spider-Verse, everything is just way less afraid.
Yes.
There's so much more like pop art with it.
It's grungy
Yes.
too. It's grungy in a good way.
God, and it looks so good. So anyway, show looks good. We know that. I could talk about all the good-looking shit for literally fucking hours. We should probably move on. Otherwise, I'll just be talking about the glowing blue of all the whatever the fuck the not Iran cars. What are the enemies? What is Uryu? Quincy. There it is. Self-proclaimed Bleach slut my ass.
They're kind of the whole point of this arc, Joe.
Anyway,
kind of the whole point.
Yeah, so like the actual story of what's happening in this, Joe, just give a quick like 30-second rundown. What the fuck happened in this episode?
Basically, in this episode, we're introduced to two new Soul Reapers that we haven't met before. They're like young, just kind of squad on the platoon, basically, and it's their first time they're in Karakura Town, and they're twinned together, and they get fucked up, basically. And then, the homies show up, and they're like, we got it from here. And he's like, who are you? And then he goes, freaking Ichigo fucking goes Bankai, and oh, God, wow. I think I actually was drooling. I don't know. It was insane. He defeats all the Hollows. He introduces himself. They heal him up. And then we also have some stuff going on in the Soul Society where I think Mayori is the scientist guy.
Whatever, the weird head dude.
Yeah, everybody knows. He's like, oh shit, there's only one type of people that can make make hollows disappear this fast and this many. And then, we're starting to see something going on with Quincy's, this like weird story about in 900 years the Quincy's king, like all this stuff. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Ichigo's just having a normal day killing some hollows. And then they infiltrate Yamamoto, and they're threatening him. This is a lot longer than 30 seconds. And basically, Ichigo gets attacked, which he then finds out is a Quincy. And that's the big, what the fuck is going on?
Because as far as we know, Uryu was supposed to be the last Quincy, right? Him and his father were like the last ones that were ever around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's like, what the fuck? And there's the cool shit where Yamamoto's, what the fuck do they call him? The vice captain? Yeah. He gets fucking bodied immediately. And you're just like, oh shit. And he tells Yamamoto, hey, they can steal our Bankai. And you're like, what the fuck? What do you mean they can steal our Bankai? And Ichigo, of course, him being him, he gets some Jesus-like powers where he might not necessarily have his Bankai stolen. So that's kind of fun. It's got to be because he's part Quincy, right? Like, that's the entire reason he can... There's literally no other reason, so it's got to be that. Anyway, and it all looks... Yeah, how about that? Whoa, what was that?
I think it was my watch. I didn't. I like moved it past the microphone, and I heard it go off. I'm like, I hope the microphone.
I heard it, and I was like, oh god, it's a bomb. No, but yeah, it's a bomb. Yeah. So, fuck. All this is just so cool looking, and I'm so happy, and I'm so ready to see the rest of it. We get at the very end the briefest glimpse of the Quincy King, or who I presume to be the Quincy King, just sitting there, absolutely man-spreading for all to see, not giving a fuck. And it just ends on him. And again, he's got those amazing blue highlights on his face, and Ichigo's got these like red and orange highlights on his face. And I'm just like, oh, the fucking lighting dichotomy between these two is incredible. I love it. So, fuck, this show is back. It looks incredible. It crammed all the setup that I think we'll need for a little bit into this one episode. Because, my God, there's a lot that happens in this episode. And we are fucking here for it.
Oh my god, I had so much fucking fun watching this shit. I literally did not hold back. I was laughing. I literally was like sitting down, be like, "Oh damn, he didn't just do that, fuck!" Like literally just going wild watching this thing because it was so fucking fun. It just, oh my god, I really was nervous. Like I hit play, and I was like, "Is this actually happening?" Like I couldn't stop thinking that. I'm like, this can't be real. Like holy fuck, this is like, it's like when you finally get to the roller coaster. Like you've been waiting in line for an hour, and you get on, and you're like, oh fuck, like we're actually on this shit. That's how I feel right now, and oh my god, it was just so fucking fun. And also, I fucking love the ending. The ending, just visually, where it's like rewind, and then it's got, again, this is where I felt the most lo-fi vibes, where all the old anime, all from the other 366 episodes in the background, going basically by like character and arcs and stuff like that. And then they got like the closing song on it. I loved it, man.
It looks incredible, the ending specifically, but also the rest of the show. It sounds awesome. It's very well done. You can tell that Studio Perio? I think it's pronounced Perio. It's got a T at the end. It might be French. I know they're Japanese. Shut the fuck up. But this is clearly, they have a lot of love for this series, and it's very, that you can really see it. So I'm very happy they're finally getting to adapt all this shit. I'm happy it's turning out the way it is, because so far, this is a great start. And I don't think that's just nostalgia talking. Again, self-proclaimed Bleach sluts, so take our opinions knowing that. But fuck, this shit's awesome, and it kicks ass, and I'm so happy. All right, that's gonna be all for us from the my mouth is melting.
It ain't a Cup of Joe podcast episode. If Joe doesn't have a stroke.
Yep, this is true. Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War, episode 1. That's a wrap from us. A couple of Bleach sluts. So always remember, we love you, we leave you, and goodbye.